So this is the masthead of William Lloyd Garrison's original abolitionist newspaper, but it's colorized because it's the Liberator dot today. Happy days are here again, sang presidential candidate Franklin Roosevelt in 1932. Peace and prosperity, proclaimed Eisenhower, the candidate, 1956. It's morning in America, intoned Reagan, the incumbent, in 1984. What was the prevailing slogan for the American electorate in the 2016 presidential campaign? Sure, we heard about making America great again and being stronger together, but the slogan I heard most often went like this: you must choose the lesser of two evils. How's that for inspiring? How's that for being hopeful about the future of American democracy? Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of voters violated at least a portion of their conscience by voting for one or for the other because they thought they had no choice. They felt trapped. They felt hopeless. My name is Lowell Bliss. Welcome to episode 14 of the Liberator Today's video series on hope. Today, Lutheran theologian Walter Brueggemann is going to ask and answer the question, what is the function of hope? He will talk a lot about absolutist claims that systems make. Let's give Brueggemann's answers a test run by applying them to one such system here in the U.S. The phrase, the two-party system, doesn't appear anywhere in the U.S. Constitution. Yet for many it feels like the weight of law, that they must vote either for the Republican or for the Democrat. We are working our way through Brueggemann's essay entitled Living Toward a Vision, Grief in the Midst of Technique. You can find it in his book, Hope Within History. Last week, Brueggemann distinguished for us 5 elements of hope literature in the Old Testament. At this point in his essay, Brueggemann is going to use that Old Testament data and answer three questions about hope, about its function, its habitat, and its enemies. We'll get around to all of them. What is the function of hope, Brueggemann asks, or stated in other ways, why is hope practiced? What happens when a people hope? The answer I make, Brueggemann says, is hope keeps the present arrangement open and provisional. He continues, hope reminds us that the way things are and all the extrapolations we make from that is precarious and in jeopardy. Hope reminds us not to absolutize the present, not to take it too seriously, not to treat it too honorably, because it will not last, unquote. The present, the system, the current arrangement, the status quo, however you want to characterize it, becomes the status quo because it seems to work well enough for enough people. And, quote, the more one benefits from the rewards of the system, the more one is enraptured with the system, until it feels like the only game in town and the whole game. The system, Brueggemann continues, wants us to believe that, for such belief silences criticism and makes us consenting, docile, obedient adults. The system wants to contain our hopes and fears, wants us to settle for the available system of rewards. In our example, the two-party system has convinced many that you can only vote for one of two candidates, either who the Republicans give you or the Democrats. Third-party candidates said, hey, wait a second, you can vote for me. No, they were told, that is essentially casting a vote for Hillary or for Trump, for whomever was feared to be the worst of two evils. You can write in a candidate. No, the hopeless said, there's no chance of winning. That's a wasted vote. You can stay at home and not vote. No, that's un-American. Might even be a sin. All the ready at hand alternative possibilities were quickly shot down. There was little patience for waiting on the Lord for alternative possibilities which required our imaginations or which were beyond our imaginations. Brueggemann wants us to know 2 things about the system's claim to being absolute. First, quote, the system does not comprehend and benefit everyone and everything. He rattles it off. Every political system serves some at the cost of others. Every economic system benefits some at the expense of others. Every intellectual system eliminates the data and the people who do not fit. The urgent, unavoidable, and we might say Christian question, he says, is what about those others? The second thing to say about the system's claim to absolutism is that biblical faith is suspicious of that claim. It suggests that even those well inside the system should not expect too much. That is, even for its own adherents, the system finally cannot keep all its promises. We human beings, we gravitate toward idolatry. We latch onto something good and then place our trust in it beyond what that thing can deliver. So what is the function of hope, Brueggemann asks again. It is to provide standing ground outside the system, from which the system can be evaluated, critiqued, and perhaps changed. Hopeless people eventually must conform, but hope-filled people are not as dependent and as fully contained and administered. Let's stop it there because of time. Next week we'll take up one of his examples of the function of hope, namely how Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego found standing ground in a fiery furnace, and Nebuchadnezzar learned that his system wasn't as absolute as he thought it was. We will also continue to tinker with what hope in the midst of the two-party system can look like. I'm Lowell Bliss, environmental missionary and climate activist. Thank you for visiting the Liberator today.